Yo, welcome to Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach along with my partner, Mr. Ali Wally. We got a big show for y'all today. We got an NFL preview, and to help us out with the preview, we got my main man, Jay Knight, in the building to come help us out and school us what's going to happen in the league this year. Man, last year was a crazy year, and we're going to talk about the AFC, Adi. Talk to me about the AFC. Now, remember last year was Bengals versus the Chiefs for the second year in a row in the AFC Championship Game.
Right.
Chiefs went to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. Are they, we'll get to all that later. But let's just start with the division winners. Let's talk to me about the AFC.
Yeah, well, the AFC Division winners, you know what? The best division in football, the AFC North, is going to come down to two teams.
AFC North?
Yeah. I get AFC North. I get that as the best division in football. Steelers, Browns, Bengals, Ravens. But it's going to come down to Baltimore and Cincinnati, okay? And so the Cincinnati Bengals, they signed the left tackle, Orlando Brown Jr. from Kansas City to improve that mediocre offensive line. And I'm concerned about Baltimore's pass rush. They get the 2021 first round pick, Adafe Owe. This guy, he needs a huge year in order to avoid that bust label, okay? I'm going with the Bengals to win the AFC North, okay? Now, the second best division in the NFL, the AFC East. Now,
the second best?
Second best.
Okay.
And you know what? I brought him down a lot because of that tough break with the Jalen Ramsey. He had injured towards meniscus. He'd be out until December. Don't know how they're going to bounce back from that injury. And so, and they
picked up Eli Apple.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey. That's a drop off. That's a drop off.
Yeah.
And so, and then the Jets, they got the #1 defense in the NFL. They was #1 last year in least amount of yards allowed per play. Okay, so that's pretty good. They got the defensive tackle, Quinnen Williams. He's the second highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL. And then you got the reigning defensive rookie of the year, Sauce Gardner on the squad. Defense is amazing. And you also have the Buffalo Bills. They're coming off an embarrassing loss at home to the Bengals. Only scored 10 points in that game. Yeah. A lot of people picked them to make it to the Super Bowl last year. I believe that got in their head. They would start believing the hype. They got humbled this year. They're going to be focused. I got the Buffalo Bills winning the AFC East. Okay, now let's go to the AFC West.
Okay.
Joey Bosa, he missed 12 games last year. He had a little hamstring problem. He's back and healthy. He's back with Khalil Mack and Derwin James, first ballot Pro Bowl safety. And I'm not picking the Chargers. I'm picking the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, to win the AFC West. And let's go to the worst division in the NFL, the AFC South.
Is it that bad?
Yes. When you got the Texans and the Colts in your division, you're pretty bad.
Damn.
And so now this division, it's strong. He's all right, but I don't like him. I can't ride with them. I'm picking against them every damn week, but.
Right.
The Jaguars are supposed to win this division. They should win this division. But Tennessee, they signed D-Hop. The wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins is on the squad with King Henry, and I'm still not picking him. I like Travis Etienne, the running back, over 1,100 yards rushing last year, 5.1 yards per carry. I'm taking the Jaguars to win the AFC South. Those are my division winners in the AFC.
So AFC North, you got Bengals. AFC East, you got the Bills. AFC West, you got the Chiefs. And AFC South, you got the Jaguars. Okay, so not yet, Jay. Now I know you might have some rebuttal, but let's talk about the NFC. The NFC last year, Jalen Hurts and company come out to go to the Super Bowl. San Francisco went to the NFC Championship Game. Unfortunately, I don't know if we got to really see a complete game against two of the best teams in NFC because of the quarterback situation that happened with San Francisco. But let's talk about the rest of the NFC. How you feeling about the NFC? Give me your winners.
All right, so in the NFC East, it's probably the most competitive of the divisions. I got the Eagles. Cowboys are looking good. They've added Stephon Gilmore. They've added Brandon Cooks, who just gets 1,000 yards wherever he goes. Yep. They have one of the best players in all of football, one of the freaks, and Michael Parsons. Now they have two elite corners. They get to the pass, they get to the quarterback. But the O-line has fallen off over the years. Run game, we still have to see what it's going to be. And the Eagles just rebuild. I mean, they re-signed Kelsey and Cox. They brought back Brandon Graham. They got Greedy Williams, which could be a good nickelback. They brought back Bradbury.
Yeah.
In the draft, they They got one of the steals of the draft in Carter and also Smith from Georgia. So they got those big hogs up front. So they got that whole Georgia defensive line when need be. And they got Brown and safety from Illinois. So they really rebuilt. They also brought in DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny at running back. So there's a lot of weapons there for Jalen Hurts. The question mark is going to be with the coordinators. Losing your coordinators, that's the backbone of any football program. And losing both coordinators will hurt, so we'll see how long it takes for them to adapt this season. Who I have in the NFC North. NFC North is like watching Skinamax porn back in the day. You'll watch it because you're bored and lonely, but it's not the greatest of football. It's not the greatest of division. That being said, I really like what the Bears have brewing. The Bears could be a surprise at the NFC North, especially with probably having an offense. Okay. But I got to pick the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Jameson Williams and Amon St. Brown are going to be one of the best young receiving duels. They got Laporte at tight end, and I love the run game that they're bringing in.
David Montgomery.
With Montgomery as well as with Jahmyr Gibbs. Yep. And I called him Golf last year, but Golf is good now.
He played good. He played good football last year. You got to give him his credit.
And the great thing about it is Dan Campbell's a blue collar coach for a blue collar city. He's really tough. He's rugged. He's passionate. He's a coach players believe in. He's a great players coach. He motivates these guys. Yeah. They have their defense will be better. Offense could be elite. So this should be an interesting year in Detroit. What I'm looking at in the NFC South, which is the worst division in football.
Worse than the AFC South, right?
Well, I guess the South. Maybe the South shall rise next year.
Both Souths is bad, pretty bad.
Both Souths,
good South this year.
The South looks like those people getting whooped in Montgomery. It's just bad, all bad. You know what I'm saying? But when we are seeing,
ain't no chairs there now.
Exactly. Atlanta is up and coming. Yeah. They have a good offense. Is Desmond Ritter the answer? We don't know. You have in Carolina, you have the young quarterback from Bama, and is Bryce going to be able to come in and be as great as he was at Bama and have that same weapons? They have a young, talented team, but the team I am picking is going to be the New Orleans Saints. I love having Carr. He is ready to break out. He's ready to get in the playoffs. He's highly motivated after his last 2 seasons in Oakland. He has a very good receiving core led by 2 Buckeyes with Mike King, Garvey Thomas, and also Chris Olave, who's a great game breaker. They have some underrated linebackers in Davis and Pete Warner, another Buckeye, who's an underrated athletic outside linebacker. And they have Cameron Jordan, so they can get to the ball. They have an elite corner in Latimer, and then they also have the Honey Badgers. So they have the talented team all around. And looking at their division, Tampa Bay is not very good. Atlanta's young. Carolina, you have a rookie quarterback. So that being said, the Saints are my pick for the NFC North. And my pick, and also my pick to get to the Super Bowl, which I will say later, is San Francisco. San Francisco is the best roster in the NFL. Look at every level that they have. McCaffrey, one of the top 2 backs in the game. Deebo Samuel, one of the top 5 receivers in the game. Ayuk, the best number 2 in the game. Kittle's the second best tight end in the game. Williams, one of the top 2 or 3 tackles in the game. Bosa, maybe the best pass rusher in the game. Warner, maybe the best linebacker in the game.
They got a lot of people.
Exactly.
Loaded.
They both led the league in sacks.
They loaded.
One of the best safeties in the game. So they are loaded. They got talent. And you look at it from top to bottom. And now they have Brock Purdy. They figured out the quarterback position. And one thing I always threw out there a couple years ago when we talked about that quarterback draft, Justin Fields. Imagine if San Francisco had not made the mistake of drafting Trey Lance and had Justin Fields.
My God!
I think this would be a dynasty because of what Justin Fields brings versus what Trey Lance has. But San Francisco, by far and away, if they stay healthy, they have the best roster in the league.
Absolutely. I love those picks. 49ers here, they loaded. They had a lot of talent. I think I said that last year. I was like, I'm just so glad San Francisco did not draft Justin Fields because boy, they'd be a juggernaut. So Adi, let's talk about so you picked your division winners. Who are your wild card teams?
Well, you know what? Lamar Jackson is fortunate to have the 2021 All-Pro and 3-time Pro Bowl tight end Mark Andrews on his squad. And Roquan Smith is amped up that he's finally on a contender, a legit Super Bowl contender. I get the Ravens getting that first wild card spot. Okay. And now the Jets running back, Breece Hall. He was having an amazing rookie year. He was averaging 5.8 yards per carry last year, but his season ended short with the ACL injury. He only played 7 games.
That was a big injury. That was pretty much the end of Zach Wilson when he got hurt.
Yeah, they lost him, and then they relied on Zach Wilson too much and started turning the ball over. But now, just in case he doesn't return to form, you saw they just signed Dalvin Cook from the Vikings. So he's there. He had over 1,100 yards rushing last year. He had like 8 touchdowns last year. So Dalvin Cook is there. I get the Jets getting that second wild card spot. And the 7th seed in the final wild card spot, I'm debating, is it going to be Miami? Is it going to be the Chargers? You got Tua, this guy, he led the NFL in quarterback rating last year, but no man in NFL history had began their career with 3 straight seasons, their first three seasons of their career, with at least 4,000 yards passing, except Justin Herbert. I'm going with the Chargers, not the Dolphins. Dolphins missed the playoffs. I'm picking the Chargers to get that 7th seed.
I like it. Very, very good picks. You can make an argument for the Dolphins. There's a lot of teams you can make. AFC is loaded. The AFC is loaded with a lot of talent, especially at quarterback position. Jay Knight, you picked your division winners for the NFC. Who gonna be the wild card teams in the NFC?
Well, first of all, how about them Cowboys? They've added, like I said, added Stephon Gilmore, added Cooks. They added Ronald Jones for some depth at the running back position. Offensive line, re-signed Zach Martin, make him happy. Their offensive line is still one of the top half of the NFL offensive lines. Defensively, they just have to stop giving up big plays. But that defense is incredible.
They played good enough to beat San Francisco in that division. They played elite in that game.
It all comes down to Dak Prescott. Yep. What will Dak Prescott do when it matters in big games? And Dak Prescott is a new Tony Romo. When it counts, he's not there.
Yeah.
He's not like Nestle when it's crunch time. He's like wet frosted flakes. No crunch at all when it's time. You know what I mean?
They were right.
And that's been the problem with the Cowboys. So can Dak get over that mental hurdle and obstacle this season? We shall see. The other team is Seattle Seahawks. Young, talented, up and coming. I love what they did in the draft at corner and as well as with receiver. They have one of the best receiver cores in the NFL now. I'd say second or third. I'd say second, maybe third. Bengals are number 1, of course.
Yeah.
They'll have a great run game. They drafted well again. Offensive line, I mean, they've done well.
Yeah.
And it's Pete Carroll coach. He's a guy who gets the best out of young players. He's an enthusiastic coach, a defensive coach, and now he has the offense that he needs to get there. Last team, it's a lot of teams to look at. I'll be honest.
It is.
Yeah,
and I kind of shuffled the deck. You know, you look at the Bears. I think the Vikings take a step back. I think the Packers take a step back. I think the Bears can take a step up this season. It all depends on how fast they get out the gate, their health, and is that offensive line really revamped? And lastly, can they get to the passer? Can they get the pass with their defense?
Well, they got Yanni and Got.
They did just sign him, but I think they need a little bit more. I think they still a long way.
They've been at the bottom third of the NFL when it comes to rushing passes.
Yeah.
I look at the New York Giants. Do they have enough? Daniel Jones
won a playoff game last year.
They won a playoff game, but is Daniel Jones really an elite quarterback? So we will wait to see what happens with Daniel Jones. He did get paid like one, but he's not a quarterback I would put in there. Then you look at teams like the Rams. Can the Rams get back up and get on that mountain, or can it be a surprise team for the NFC South? So I'm going to surprise a lot of people, and I'm going to pick the Bears for that last play. And Justin Trust.
Let's go.
And in Justin, he must believe, I have Justin Fields leading the Bears like he did my Buckeyes to the playoffs.
Ooh, I love it. I so hope you're right. But it's not far fetched. Like, how many wins do you think you need for like the 7th seed?
You probably get 8 or 9.
I think you need 9 wins. I think they can compete for that division.
Yeah.
When you look at that with the receiving core, you finally have a receiving core. We got to see what's going to happen at the running back position, but the offensive line has come around. I love the back end of that defense, what they have in the secondary.
Yeah.
And they got some good linebackers that they've drafted. I love Sewell.
Yeah.
And that they brought in through free agency. So I think the Bears have started something very good right now.
I definitely like what the direction the Bears going in. So, Adi, you heard Jay Knight's NFC predictions. You heard what he said.
Can we get your predictions though?
Oh, okay.
Let's get your predictions.
You want my predictions?
Yeah.
All right. So for the AFC West, I got the Chiefs. AFC North, I got the Ravens. AFC South, I got the Jaguars. And the AFC East, I got the Dolphins. I got Tua, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle and company. Okay. In the NFC, I have the Lions. The NFC North, I have the Lions.
Okay.
NFC East, I have the Eagles. NFC South, I have the Saints. NFC West, I have the 49ers.
Okay.
My wild cards team for the AFC are the Jets. Aaron Rodgers coming back, you know, that's a big deal. You talked about, I don't even got, you already told me about the defense. They're gonna be loaded. That division is pretty good. That division is gonna be top tier.
And they get offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah,
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. Yeah, so that division with the Bills, that's a really good division. And then I got the Chargers. I agree with you on the Chargers. I'm with you with the Chargers, and I got the Bengals getting the other in the other wild card. I got them in wild card. Only reason I didn't pick them to win division because Joe Burrow. I don't know when Joe Burrow's going to come back and play, and I feel like they still going to be competitive because they have a very, very good roster. But I like the Ravens. I like Lamar Jackson. He got paid. That monkey's off his back. I think he can go out there and play free now. And they also loaded him up with some talent. He's got a lot of talent and speed at wide receiver. Yeah.
Flowers, the rookie. So they got a lot going on.
Yeah. So they got to look, and they still got the Edwards. You know. So they got some talent on. They gave him some talent. So watch out for Lamar Jackson. I think he's actually going to be in the MVP conversation, but that's a whole different thing. For the wild card for the NFC, I'm pretty much with Jay Knight. Cowboys. I got Cowboys is a loaded team. Like he said, just Dak. If Dak was a better quarterback, I might have picked the Cowboys over the Eagles, honestly, because they have so much talent on that team. The Seattle Seahawks, I love what they're doing. Pete Carroll, they draft so well. They're getting so much talent. There's so much talent on that team is coming. And then I had this as open, but if I had to choose one team, forget it. I'm gonna go Bears too. Why not? Because are the Bears better than what's a team like the Bears or the Giants? You know, they're not that far off. I don't know.
And I agree. And when you think about it, the NFC, when you start thinking, when you talk about the top 10 quarterbacks in the AFC, I mean, it's a bunch of dogs.
Yeah.
But then when you start to go to the top 10 in the NFC, I mean, you get to 4, you start thinking ooh, okay, who's?
Yeah.
And it's hard to think. There's not a lot of elite quarterbacks.
No.
San Francisco doesn't have an elite quarterback.
No, they have an elite
Dallas doesn't have an elite quarterback. The Giants don't have an elite quarterback. The Redskins or the Commanders don't have an elite quarterback. They got a rookie down in Carolina. They got Baker Mayfield on his last leg.
Yeah.
They don't have an elite quarterback in Atlanta. So we start to look at all these teams. In the NFC, it's not a lot of elite quarterbacks. So the top 4 teams are probably the 4 of the best quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And I think Justin Fields is probably the 4th or 5th best quarterback in the NFC. That's why I have the Bears in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, after the top 6 teams in the NFC, it's mediocre.
Yeah,
it's an attainable goal. It's
not a bad prediction to say they can get the 7th spot, get that last playoff spot.
So you're saying there are a lot of last call girls in the bar with this quarterback situation?
Pretty much. It's 2:45. Just all right, the lights would have cut off, but that's a different story. So, all right, give me some rebuttals from Jay Knight. If you want to rebuttal me on something too, go for it.
Yeah, it seems like you and Jay Knight got y'all picked the same NFC playoff teams. Okay, so here's the thing. Y'all, but it's one. Y'all really, the Vikings went 13-4 last season. 13-4. That's a lot of disrespect. You got Jefferson over there. He's doing his thing. Best receiver in the NFL.
Who beat the Vikings in the first round?
The Giants. They beat them.
Exactly.
They did.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
that team skated by. They got some lucky with. Hey, listen, I ain't mad at them. They won the game. They won the games, but we saw what we saw. I know what I was watching. That wasn't an elite football team.
Vikings have a bad defense. Yeah. Now they have a run game. They have an average offensive line. It's just.
That's the only team. You know what? I actually got the Vikings winning the division. I had the Vikings winning the NFC North, and I get the Lions as a wild card. I don't have the Bears in. I I pretty much, I agree with everything y'all said except the Bears out, and I got the Vikings in. I don't think this is the Bears year. 2024 is when the Bears get better, when they fix the pass rush situation.
So did you have them in the playoffs before quarterback on Netflix or after?
Hey man, look, I cannot disrespect the Vikings, man. They did a good double-digit wins, 13 wins. They did lose to the Giants in the very first playoff game, but the Bears, Justin Fields, he needs to show me a lot more with the passing ability. I know he can run, but can he go sit in that pocket and pass the ball downfield to these guys? I don't know. I'm going with the Vikings to get that to make the playoffs over the Bears.
So the last playoff. So you got you got the Vikings winning the division.
I get the Lions. I got the Lions getting the last playoff and making a wild card, and the Bears outside. Look at
call Dan Cam. We gonna come punch in your face. Dan Cam, we getting fired up. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's
send him this.
Yeah, the NFC North ain't the best division this year, but I think I don't like the Vikings. I think the Vikings last year they got some flaws. They got like Jay Knight pointed. They got some flaws on their team. I think this year around when they're gonna have a tougher schedule. I don't think they're gonna be winning those games they was winning last year. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, they got Hawkinson from the Lions, the tight end. They got some offense. Kirk Cousins can throw that ball.
I mean, they have offense, but it's just I don't like their defense. Their defense is terrible.
This is bad, and they don't have Dalvin Cook and running back.
Hey, you want to blame? We just talked about Daniel Jones got number one money. You know why he got number one money? Because he played the Vikings in the first round of the playoffs. If he would have had to play the Cowboys or the 49ers or somebody like that in the first round, Daniel Jones probably wouldn't be fighting for a contract right now.
Just some food for thought about Daniel Jones for you Giants fans. He had just as many games with 2 touchdown passes as he did with 0 touchdown passes.
So that's who they lost to. That's who their defense lost to. They could not stop. So that's why I can't trust the Vikings. Don't get me wrong, the Bears defense was the worst last year. But I feel like the Bears are going up. I think the Vikings is coming down. They might be at the middle. It might be them for like the last game for the last spot. Any other disagreements?
Oh no, that's the only disagreement I got with y'all picks.
Jay Knight, you heard Adi picks. Anything you disagree, or you can put me too. And for the AFC,
honestly, I like the Dolphins in the playoffs. I think with Vic Fangio, with that defense, Bradley Chubb, and everything that they have down there, getting to the quarterback, I think they'll be a top 5 or 6 defense. Even without Jalen Ramsey, and I think with the chunk plays they get offensively. As long as Tua can stay upright, learn how to fall, wrap up in bubble tape, whatever.
do what you gotta do.
That's the X factor. If Tua stays healthy, I mean they got a track team back there that can just get the ball out quick and let them do their thing. And that defense is made to rush the passer and shut teams down. So I like the Dolphins sticking in the playoffs.
I mean, who would you take out of my? You would take out the Chargers or? Because I get the Chargers getting the wild card. I get the Jets, Chargers.
You got the Bills winning the division.
Yeah, I get the Bills winning.
I got the Dolphins over the Jets.
Oh, so you get the Jets not making the playoffs?
Yes.
So what's your biggest? So like we there's been a lot of hype about the Jets this year. So what's your biggest concern? What makes you like okay? They got Aaron Rodgers. They picked up all these pieces now. What concerns you about the Jets? What make you say like I don't know if they can beat them?
40-year-old man with a bad offensive line, so it has me worried. Aaron Rodgers is not running around. When you're 40, you don't want to
the same.
I'll tell you like this. I played flag football, which is supposed to be not contact. The time when that started getting banged, and I was 40 years old, I was like, you know what? It's just a game. I'm done.
Right.
And when you're older, it takes you longer when you absorb those hits and that contact, it takes you longer to recover. Physically, you don't want to go through it, and you're not able to react the same, and it's going to play in your mind. And with Aaron Rodgers, he's been behind one of the best offensive lines for decades, and now they have to worry about the chaos that you have there with Mekhi Becton and the pieces that they have on the offensive line. If everything's not great, it will be interesting to see what he does with adversity in New York, especially with that media. So us to get under his skin. I just don't see it going well, and I see a couple injuries on the offensive line, and the Jets season, coming the last couple weeks and then losing to the Dolphins or maybe accidentally losing to the Patriots, but I just don't see him making it this year.
Dang. Woo. Yeah. So let's go through a couple teams I just want to throw out, especially in the AFC. It's a couple teams. So Sean Payton is coaching the Broncos. Do the Broncos still suck this year with Sean? And is Sean Payton gonna be able to elevate this team?
Well, the Broncos, I did think about them. They signed the former Raven offensive guard Ben Powers to a $52 million deal. They also signed the former 49er right tackle Mike McGlinchey to an $87 million deal because they were the worst team in the NFL in sacks allowed. They allowed the most sacks last season. Okay, now you got Sean Payton there, but I just don't think it's enough. You know, they was the most disappointing team last year. It was like bottom 5 team in the NFL. You need Russell Wilson to bounce back, and his teammates didn't seem like they liked him a lot. He was like, you know, a prima donna, and so and then you got Chargers and you got Chiefs in that division.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't put them in the playoffs.
What about the Steelers? Any love for the Steelers? Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, and
I got this. I mean, I love Tomlin, but I saw the Steelers finishing last night.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, the thing is, T.J. Watt. You know, they win with him. They was 8-2 with T.J. Watt last year when he was hurt for those 7 games. They only won 1 game. Okay. They had a problem at the offensive line. They signed a Georgia Bulldog. They drafted him in the first round, Roderick Jones, to play left tackle. I thought the Bears were gonna get him, so they got him at left tackle. That's a good team. Like I said, the AFC North is the best division in football.
the Browns is a good team. We got to see what Deshaun Watson gonna look like. He's got a full offseason, a full training camp. What is Deshaun Watson gonna look like in Cleveland? That's
With a full off season.
I mean, you got to work your way in like a good massage. You got to work his way in.
no pun intended.
You know, man.
Yes.
No, but you know what, Miles Garrett, this guy was only one player had more sacks than him last year. Yeah. Nick Bosa. Okay, so that's good. They was pretty bad against the run last year, so they signed the former Viking Thomason. All right, the big guy. They signed him to a big deal over like $57 million deal to stop the run in the middle, and you got Garrett getting the sacks. So yeah, Cleveland. That's a really good division, man.
Yeah, and I think and I guess a team that I don't have in the playoffs, Buffalo Bills. I don't think they're gonna make the.
That's what I swear to God, I was looking at your AFC picks. I'm looking up like, wait a minute. I was looking at this teams and you didn't put the Buffalo Bills.
And I'll be honest. So
that's what it is.
When you look at Buffalo, they can't run the ball.
They talk to them.
You're having issues now with your number one who wants more targets, and oftentimes that's being forced.
Yep.
You see a little bit more of an undisciplined Josh Allen now that his offensive coordinator is the Giants coach, and it's just not that field. Like, they have a lot of dudes. It's a great roster, but it's just something isn't quite there to put them over the top. And I think they're going to regress and take a step back.
And they got it. And since the Bengals showed them that.
Yeah,
they showed them they wasn't that good.
Well, man, the coach named McDermott, right?
Yeah.
So if they miss the playoffs, then
and that division got better. But only way they depend too much on Josh Allen.
Yeah.
They are too dependent on it. It's just him running around scrambling. It don't seem like the offense has, like Jay Knight said, it don't have like no structure. It had a little structure before he went and coached the Giants, but now it's just like they don't run the ball. They get in the red zone. It's just Josh Allen makes something happen, running the end zone. It's just
McDermott's a defensive man.
Yeah, so that worries me when you're playing against elite other teams that are that elite quarterbacks and stuff. So we shall see. So Jay Knight, let's talk about the AFC. Who's going to be in the AFC Championship Game and who's going to come up victorious?
All right, so AFC Championship Game. I mean, you got to put the Chiefs in to somebody knocks the Chiefs off. I mean, Chiefs just like a rite of passage for Patrick Mahomes. So, got to put the Chiefs in there. But I got a surprise.
Okay.
I'm going to put Lamar.
I like it. I love it.
It's a quarterback league. Lamar's dynamic, and the Ravens do have a great roster. John Harbaugh's one of the best coaches in the NFL, and I think if they're healthy, they're going to find a way to get back to the AFC Championship Game. I think the Bengals will have some struggles this year. They've lost their safeties, corners. Their best corner is injured, and Joe Burrows is hurt. So that they're going to lose some games early. I just think the Ravens are going to, have a benefit of playing in that tough division. They'll be battle tested, and they'll come out of that first and second round and get in there to beat the Chiefs.
And who's gonna win?
can't bet against Mahomes. I went back and forth. But Mahomes his teams have always gotten the better of Lamar Jackson. And I just see that if it's a close game, I have more confidence in Pat Mahomes coming down with the game-winning drive than Lamar Jackson at this point in time. So I got the Chiefs.
Yeah, you can't argue with that, man. Pat Mahomes, since he started quarterback, I think they've had home field advantage every year in the AFC Championship game that he's been playing quarterback.
Yes.
The man is amazing. So, who's your AFC Championship, buddy?
Well, I'm going the opposite of what you did earlier. The team that you don't have making the playoffs, Buffalo Bills. Okay, they was the number one offense in the NFL, the number one third down conversion rate offense in the NFL last year, number 2 in scoring, and they just added the first round rookie tight end from Utah, Dalton Kincaid. They still got Dawson Knox there. He had 6 touchdowns last year. Tre'Davious White, the cornerback, one-time All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowler. He missed 11 games last year. He's back and healthy. He's determined to get back to that All-Pro form, okay? And so I got Buffalo going against one of the 2 teams that put them out the playoffs in the last 3 years, okay? Either the Bengals or the Chiefs. Okay?
Hold on.
One of those teams.
You can't go easy. Hold on.
I'm gonna pick one of those teams. I'm gonna pick one of them. And then, there was a team that was a great playoff game, AFC Championship Game, when the dude, what's his name, Joseph Asai, hit Mahomes out of bounds and gave the Chiefs, sent them to the Pro Bowl, to the Super Bowl. It sucked. Okay, so now the Chiefs, they lost their perennial Pro Bowler, Orlando Brown Jr. to the Bengals. Okay, and so I'm picking the Bengals to beat the Chiefs. I get the Bengals versus the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship Game. Buffalo trying to get revenge for that embarrassing loss at home in the snow, and I say they make it to the Super Bowl. For the first time since 1993, I got the Buffalo Bills beating the Bengals in the AFC Championship Game.
Wow, you are really high on the Bills. I'm not mad at you. Hey, Josh Allen is a ultra talented quarterback. I just worry about them. Are they going to be able to run the ball? As you saw in that divisional game against the Bengals, when they weren't able to run the ball against a real good team, they struggled mightily.
The only thing I worry about is Josh Allen in big games. If you look at it in big games, the discipline has not been there the last couple of years. He's made mistakes, and they have not functioned at a high level against elite competition in big games. Outside the big loss against the Chiefs a couple years ago, but they have not played well down the stretch in big games against good teams, regular season or postseason.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
Right with the Buffalo Bills.
All right. Let's talk about the NFC.
Okay.
Last year was the 49ers and the Eagles in the NFC Championship. Are we gonna have a repeat of that? Who's your NFC Championship game?
Well, now, it was a big loss for the Eagles when they lost the defensive tackle, Javon Hargrave. He signed with the 49ers, okay? But, hey, the Eagles, they traded with the Bears. They traded up one spot from number 10 to number 9 to get the Georgia Bulldog. Big Jalen Carter. He's there. A lot of Bears fans are still pissed off about that. But they get Fletcher Cox. Yeah. He's going to help them out, all right? And like my man Jay Knight was talking about, they lost Miles Sanders, the running back, first ballot All-Pro running back, to Carolina, but they made a trade, traded a 4th round pick to Detroit for DeAndre Swift, 5.5 yards per carry last year. I got the Eagles going to the NFC Championship Game, and I get them going against Jay Knight's favorite team, the Cowboys.
Ooh. NFC East battle in the NFC Championship Game?
Yes. The Cowboys, they haven't made it to the NFC Championship Game since Montel Jordan made that, this is how we do it. Back in 1995. Okay?
That's a hell of a stat. That's a hell of a stat.
Relevance is not.
Wow, that was amazing.
It's been minutes. It's been down there 3 decades, okay? So it's about time. It's about time they go there. Michael Parsons, this man, Michael Parsons, he had 13.5 sacks last year. He's number 7 in the NFL in that category. He's made the All-Pro team in his first 2 years in the NFL. He's going for Defensive Player of the Year. Why not? Okay? And now the Cowboys, their rush defense was pretty bad last year. That's why they took the Michigan Wolverine in the first round, Mozzie Smith. In the middle of that defense, he's big, he's strong, going to help stop the run. Yes, Dak Prescott had a really tough game in San Francisco in the playoffs.
In just San Francisco?
When they played San Francisco, yeah. Well,
there was a lot of tough games coming down the stretch for him.
They beat Tampa Bay. They beat Tampa Bay, and then they lost, So
who had a tough game in San Francisco? Him or Zeke Elliott?
Hey,
why did they put Zeke at center at the last time? I still don't know what the hell.
That scene look like a dead dog in the middle of the road.
Hey, they gonna come to their senses this year. They're gonna make it to the NFC Championship Game. And Eagles versus Cowboys. I got the Eagles going back to the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. So you got Eagles versus the Bills. Wow, okay.
Eagles Bills.
That's interesting. Jay Knight, who you got in the NFC?
What is that, the shitty city wall?
Right, the Eagles and Bills.
Sorry, Bills fans. I got friends from Buffalo. Philly's a shitty city, though. Damn. No offense. I got the Rocky statue and Kevin Hart. But
I was gonna sleep. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was gonna go sleep. I'll leave that alone.
So I have a repeat of last year. I got the Eagles and 49ers. But this year the 49ers aren't going to lose 3 quarterbacks. And the 49ers prevailing and get to the Super Bowl. I think with the 49ers, once again, they have the best roster in the NFL. And they have elite talent in every position to match what the Eagles have, elite talent in every position. So I got the 49ers over the Eagles in the NFC Championship Game.
Ooh, so Chiefs versus 49ers, a repeat of a couple years ago, right?
A repeat, and there'll be a lot of hype around that game. It'll be, 2-story franchises.
Yep.
It'll be, one of the elite quarterbacks to one of the best stories of a quarterback we've ever seen since Tom Brady with Brock Purdy. So it'll be very interesting. And this could kind of mirror the fact that, hey, Tom Brady was undervalued at one of the last quarterbacks picked in his draft, and Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. And these might be the kryptonite for Patrick Mahomes. These 6th-round quarterbacks, these late-round quarterbacks. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's. Ooh, I like it. So all right, I'll go. My AFC Championship Game. I got the Chiefs. I'm with you with the Ravens. And I so bad want to pick Lamar Jackson. I do so bad. But last year, you know what? Andy Reid and Mahomes. I picked the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and every time I pick against them, I look stupid. So I am not picking against the Chiefs. I am taking the Chiefs in the AFC. In the NFC, I'm with Jay Knight. I don't know, Jay Knight. I don't know. Did I call Jay Knight or something? Because I agree with everything. Hey, so I got the Eagles versus the 49ers for a repeat of the NFC Championship Game. Again, for both super loaded rosters, but I think the only thing, I know you brought up the point about the quarterbacks, but I still don't think there's a quarterback over in San Francisco better than Jalen Hurts. I got Jalen Hurts returning back to the Super Bowl. And I got the Eagles versus the Chiefs. It's going to be a rematch, part 2. We had a classic game last year between those guys, Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts.
They cheated the Eagles. Bradbury, they called that defense a holding on them. The refs really helped out Patrick Mahomes.
He cheated himself.
He held him, man. But I let it alone. It was a hold.
That was a soft call. They should have let that go.
As a referee, I make that call.
It was the right call. Unfortunately, you don't want to see the call as a fan. You like, you want them to win it on it, but it was the right call.
And Patrick Mahomes wrote a thank you letter to that ref.
Hey, so I think all right, real quick. We got some time. So Jay Knight, you picked the Chiefs and 49ers.
Yep.
Who wins the Super Bowl?
Got the 49ers.
Dude, Brock Purdy and company.
It's huge.
Hey, I like it.
Oh, the prediction.
I like it. The 49ers, that wouldn't be surprising. The 49ers could have won it last year, honestly, if they would have, they had their quarterback. I do feel like they probably have the most talented roster from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Who you got winning, Adi?
You know what? My Super Bowl matchup, Buffalo versus Philly. The Eagles is trying to avoid becoming the first team to lose back-to-back Super Bowls since the Buffalo Bills did it in the early 90s. They actually lost 4 straight Super Bowls.
So what shitty city will be burning cars?
Hey, I like Philly. I used to go to Villanova for a basketball camp. I went to ate their little Philly cheesesteaks. It was delicious. Hey, Philly, y'all cool with me. Now,
Philly got some good rappers too. We got to be honest, but that's we that's how we go.
now,
You got the Roots, you got Beans,
some, hold going on in Philly?
Meek Mill, I think.
Meek Mill. They got some good.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart's funny. Yeah.
Hey, Philly, y'all cool. I guess y'all going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, trying to avoid that back-to-back loss. Okay, the Buffalo Bills. They never won a Super Bowl in their history. And I got Buffalo winning the Super Bowl. Buffalo Bills.
I feel like you got car insurance paid for.
Man, you high on the. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Last year, you know, they was the favorite. I get it, and everybody thought they was gonna win. But you really, I'm surprised with all these teams. I mean, it's not a surprise to pick. The Bills are good, but man, that AFC is so loaded.
It is.
I got the Chiefs winning again. I listen. I want to say the Eagles so bad again. I want to be like the Eagles is gonna get them this time. They gonna get revenge, but that boy Mahomes is different. He's different. He's a different level, and he seems to make stuff happen that you don't think ain't supposed to happen. He makes it happen. So they got that effect every year. They're the new Patriots now.
They got lucky with the Joseph Asai in the AFC Championship Game, hitting them out of bounds so they can get that last-second field goal. The game should have went to overtime. The Bengals was very dangerous, and in the previous season, the Bengals beat them. Okay, so that's a really tough matchup for the Chiefs. That's their kryptonite. The Bengals. Yeah, I got the Bengals eliminating them before the Super Bowl.
I got the Bengals losing to the Ravens.
Now, if the Chiefs can beat the Ravens, but they better hope the Bengals.
They don't line up with the Bengals. Do give them problems.
They give them a lot of problems.
They match up with them real good.
And they be getting very lucky. And with that Bradbury call, if the ref didn't call that, no one would have been losing their minds if he didn't throw that flag for that Bradbury call on Juju Smith-Schuster. Okay, so they got very fortunate and everything. They lost their left tackle, Leonard Brown Jr. So before they lost Tyreek Hill.
See, that's my point. That's where I was going.
Yeah. So can he keep losing these perennial Pro Bowl, All-Pro type dudes? Can he keep losing guys like that every year and continue to win Super Bowls?
Yeah, that's
what the great ones do.
That's just what happens, you know. And he's done it. He's proven it. That he's lost, and he's been on both sides of the field. He's lost in the Super Bowl. He's lost the championship game. It's like this dude. He's built for it.
And something to think about. I think when you look 15 years from now, we start talking about the greatest coaches ever. I think you start talking about Andy Reid as the greatest NFL coach because of what he's doing on the back end of his career.
Yeah.
Where Bill Belichick in the middle of his career was leading with him and Brady and some of the things that they've done. But now Andy Reid has done it with not only the Eagles, but now getting back to Super Bowl with Pat Mahomes. And if he wins a couple more Super Bowls, we're actually looking at probably one of the best offensive line. Probably surpassed Bill Walsh now.
Yeah.
And now looking at right now it's probably the second best NFL coach ever. I'd say he might surpass Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
He wins a couple more with Mahomes because once again the way he's been able to adapt to now which is more of an offensive league where Belichick was more of a defensive league where he's been able to adapt with players, with schemes and everything he's done. He's just drawn up some marvelous things. So, don't bet against Andy Reid.
You got to look at Andy Reid quarterback tree. Like he coached Jonathan McNabb, and McNabb had a lot of good years in Philly. Remember, Michael Vick came back under Andy Reid, and Andy Reid got Michael Vick back right.
Right.
Like he got Alex. He had Alex Smith. They was winning 11 games with Alex Smith before Mahomes even stepped on the field. So Andy Reid, you that's a very good point. That's why it's just hard to bet against them.
Yeah, and then until Jay Knight's picked the 49ers, I like the safety Hufanga. He was made the Pro Bowl last year. They defense Javon Hargrave, they just signed him. Nick Bosa, Warner. So that's going to be a really tough defense to
Armstead.
Yeah.
They loaded. Yeah. They loaded on defense.
That's why I didn't get too mad at Dak Prescott last year. I got to give 49ers credit. You know what I mean? He was going against some dogs.
But Cowboys they just, like, to be honest with you, if you look at for talent, Cowboys is just as talented as the Eagles and the 49ers. I'm not saying they're more talented, but
that's the top three. That's like
it's not far off.
I feel like that's a clear top three in the NFC. Maybe number 14, maybe Lions or Saints or Seahawks. But the top three is like clear top three in the NFC.
All right, so I got the Bills winning. Jay Knight got the 49ers winning, and I got the Chiefs repeating. Mahomes gonna get his 3rd Super Bowl ring.
You went with the Vegas pick, huh?
Yeah, I went with Vegas.
The best odds.
The best. Look, it's a reason why they're the best odds. It's a reason. You watching Spectator Sporting? I'm Zach Wilson. On my partner, Mr. Adi Wally. Want to give us? Oh, sorry.
One last thing before we close it up.
Go ahead.
Hey guys, it's a great day
To be
a Husky.
football, baby.
Shout out Jay Knight. He's a great coach, man. Go check him out. He got them boys balling over there. You're watching Spectator Sporting once again, and thank you, Jay Knight, for not only coaching some kids, but also come helping us out on this show and schooling us on this football thing. We out. Peace.